Joined now by senior defensive lineman Ali Fayyad. Ali, the other night, big senior night win over Akron. Take me through the pregame, running out on the field for the last time. What was just kind of going through your head?
Oh man, just looking around, just looking at the lights, just being in the moment, capturing everything. Just like this is the last time I'm gonna be out here running out with my guys. I even told Ralph the other day, like it's the last couple of times I'm gonna be playing together, not just home, but just here at Western Michigan. It was just a ride.
What are you going to miss most about playing here at Waldo Stadium?
I'm gonna miss the fans, my teammates, just with the winning here. I felt like we've won a lot here since my time being here. Was just nothing else like it. Honestly, just extremely fun, and it was just a great time to be a part of. Really.
As a defensive line, you guys have had a very good season. You've been really good stopping the run. You guys have racked up a ton of sacks. What do you kind of attribute your success to?
Well, first of all, thanks to coaching, but the guys next to it, I feel like we feed off of each other. The guys next to each other, when it comes to me and Ralph to Fist and Fist to Andre, like we all worked well together, and Marshawn as well. I feel like we all have really good pressure. We got a lot of moves, and we got motor. We get to the quarterback.
Looking ahead to the final two games of the season on the road, what's kind of the team's mentality going into the Eastern Michigan and Northern Illinois games?
Well, we're doing one at a time. We're thinking straight Eastern right now, and we just got to handle business. They beat us the last two seasons, so this is our get back right now.
Talking more about the Eagles, what do you think are some of the keys to stopping their offense who likes to throw a lot?
Getting to the quarterback. Are
you kind of looking forward to the challenge of a team that really likes to air it out?
Yeah, I love that. They're bringing something upon me that I like to do. I like to get to the quarterback. So let's do it. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate you.
All right, joined now by senior defensive lineman Ralph Holley. Ralph, before the game the other night, running out of the field one last time for the senior day festivities, what was kind of going through your mind while you were going through that?
It was a lot of thoughts going through my mind. This is the last time I'm going to be playing at Waldo, a place I call home, playing in Kalamazoo and playing with my brothers me and Ali have been playing together for 5 years now, and just the whole defensive line and defense in general. it was just a surreal moment, but I appreciate everything that's happened in the past and everything that the team has done. So I was just appreciative of playing here one last time.
What are you going to miss most about playing here at Waldo Stadium?
I'm really going to miss just the aesthetics of everything, the fans, the coaches. I'm going to miss just playing on home turf, with my brothers and everything like that, and it's just a different aesthetic when you're playing at home at Waldo, especially because Waldo has such an amazing atmosphere. So that's what I'm going to miss.
You mentioned you and Ali and a bunch of the other seniors have been here even more than the standard 4 years with all the stuff that's been going on the last couple of years with COVID. What did it mean to end your career, at least in terms of home games, with a big victory over Akron the other night?
It was huge. It was huge to win. It was a good, tight game, but it was huge. It was good to end my last career home game here with a dub, as it should be. I couldn't ask for anything else to win the battle with my brothers, so, yeah.
Ali leads the conference in sacks. You're right up there among the top 5 as well. What do you think has been the key to your guys' success as a unit this season?
It's group cooperation, on all the levels. The back end, the DBs and safeties, they provide enough coverage time for us to get to the quarterback. And, along the line, Fisk, Ali, and Dre, we all feed off of each other. So, one guy creates pressure on one side, it opens up for us on the other side.
Last question for you. A big game coming up this week at Eastern Michigan. What are some of the keys to stopping the Eastern Michigan offense?
One thing is what we do best is getting to the quarterback, making him uncomfortable in the pocket and everything. And we're also stressing. They have a very good O-line, so we're just stressing, defeating the run first, but also taking care of the quarterback, not making him so comfortable in the pocket because he is a good quarterback, and once he gets comfortable, that's when he starts airing it out. So suffocating that pocket and taking care of the run is one thing that we're trying to do for Eastern.
All right, Ralph, thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, Coach, let's first start off talking about the win a couple nights ago against Akron. Just how did it feel to send out your seniors with a victory over the Zips?
Oh, it felt great for those guys that have donated, so much to this program and spent so much time and sacrificed so much from their bodies to their time, and it was a great way to end it. It's one they won't forget. And I was proud of the way they played. We knew we were we were up against karma, when it comes to having a team playing well that's young and talented that just lost their coach. So we knew they were going to play, and we had to play well to keep up with them, and we did. And we found a way to win late, which is a good sign.
In that game against Akron, obviously your run game was working real well. Got over 300 yards as a team. You mentioned earlier in the year that Jackson Kincaid had a minor injury. I'm assuming he's back at full health now, and how much has that helped your run game?
Yeah, you've probably seen in the last couple of games. He's really like last 3 or 4 weeks. He's back. He was. I don't know what percentage he was the first half of the season or first 4 or 5 games, but just to have a veteran, a 6-year player that can read, can see the hole. He's always where he needs to be. He's unbelievable in pass protection, and to be able to run it as much as we felt like we needed to have 3 guys that you can roll through there and keeping them fresh, so every single time hopefully you're pounding the rock, on the tacklers, and you're leaning into the tacklers every single time. So he's been a huge asset to us. It was just good to see him healthy. His senior day for him, to go out there and play well was huge for him. I'm happy for him.
Obviously, Sean Tyler's fingerprints were all over that game Tuesday as well. Obviously, you shuffled through a lot of kick returners, him getting that kick return for a touchdown. Certainly a great sign of what had been sort of a struggling unit this year. You still had Bryce Nunley returning punts. Does seeing Tyler get that kick return touchdown make you think about putting him back there, or is it more about making sure you keep your running back healthy?
That's a fine line, right? Catching punts and catching kickoffs totally different. So I wouldn't. I think if we were going to put someone in there to return punts, it'd probably be Sky Moore. It's something we discussed. We put Sky Moore on our punt team this week as a gunner. So he would be the next one if we decided to put someone else in on punt return. And it really all depends on the week. If we have a good look and a good return, giving Sky a chance back there wouldn't be something we consider. If we're going after blocks and we just need someone we trust to catch it, Bryce is. I could trust him. So really, it'll depend on the week. And when we have good return looks, obviously having Sean Tyler running that ball is special. And so it was good for those guys. They needed to get some air for him, and they finally did, and he took advantage of it.
Obviously, your team hasn't hit a field goal longer than 30 yards this year. Then at the end of the first half there against Akron, went out, tried a 50-yarder, missed, but Akron had called timeout, decided to try again. Talk about the thought process behind that play call.
Well, just try to get a score. We had the ball we had 1 play left. I was going to throw it, then I don't know if we jumped off sides or we ended up backing up. So I just ran split zone. I talked to Sean about, hey, look at the clock. If you get in the open, look at the clock. Run as far as you can. I had a timeout left. As far as you can and get down. And he did. And I saw him look up when he popped it, and just to give us a shot. We've hit that field goal in practice before, and we have a call. We have an Auburn and a Bama call. For if you remember that game, Bama is the cover. So we had Bama on, and the line did a good job, just in case. Anytime you take a long field, it's a Bama call. And so we knew after the first one, he didn't really get all the first one. So, we had Bama on both times. But we talked about it with the O-line during the timeout, like, hey, we're going to cover this thing. But give him a chance to get some points. That would have been a great way to end a score, turnover, and even get another field goal would be huge. And so, we didn't get a great piece of it, but we've hit that. We take that same kick from about the 35-yard line. It's kind of like our last kick every day. We start in and back up, so every kicker gets a kick at it. And Nick didn't get a good piece of it, but we covered and got him down. It was worth it. It's another shot. It's another swing. Especially when you got your linemen covering. It's still scary when your linemen are covering, but if they know they're covering after the kick, so they're already going out there. That's one thing that I don't think Alabama was doing when Auburn returned that one on them. Auburn is our defense's way of putting a guy back there, which we tried to do last week and didn't get it done. Or 2 weeks ago, it was against Toledo. We had a chance to do on Auburn, and we were trying to get it called, and we didn't get a guy back there at the end of the second quarter against them.
You got Eastern Michigan coming up this week. They've been a bit of a thorn in your side, winning the last 2 years against y'all. They averaged 34 points a game so far this year. Talk about what challenges that offense brings.
Yeah, they got a new quarterback who I know very well. I recruited him at Purdue. Ben is from my hometown, trained by a guy that I trained, kind of, for a friend. And so I know Ben well. He's a good quarterback. He's super efficient. We recruited him. We were hard here. It was him and Caleb. We were trying to get both of them. When he chose to go to Cincinnati. And I know his dad played at Eastern, so I know it was good for him when he left Cincinnati to find a home where he could play immediately. And they're super efficient. They throw the ball more than they run it, so it's a little different in the past with him back there. They do throw it more this year. I think they're number one in scoring offense in our league, and so it's going to be a big challenge. He's got great receivers, and they do a good job of attacking your leverage, and so it's as a passing unit. I think they're efficient. They're going to be a big challenge for our defense and our defensive backs this week because they don't shy away from throwing it all over the yard.
And looking at Eastern Michigan's defense, is there any players or schemes in particular that stand out to you when watching film of them?
I think the biggest thing that stands out watching them on film is how physical they are. They've always been that way, but it's just they play hard. I think our defensive line plays really hard if you watch them. I mean, that quarterback at Akron took some shots and kept getting up. And I give that kid a ton of credit. He played a great game. But their D-line plays like ours, I think. I mean, they're coming, and there's not a playoff, and their linebackers will hit you hard, and it's a really physical defense. And so that's what we got to be ready for. They're gonna contest everything, and we're gonna have to be ready on offense to deal with pressure in small pockets, and everything's coming. Now with that comes, if you can execute a play, it could be a big play, but everything's going to be contested. It's like being in the red zone all game, and it's kind of like Pitt, a little different defense, but similar to Pitt. So we got to be ready mentally for a really physical group with that defense, and we got to execute. And we did a pretty good job against them last year, but we turned it over. Jackson Cade had his one fumble of the year, and we had one snap that went through Caleb's hands. Other than that, we moved the ball fairly well. So we got to be super efficient and match their offense's efficiency. Now, we do it a little differently. They throw more than they run. We're about 50-50, and sometimes leaning more towards the run. But being efficient is the key.
Your running back group's performing at a pretty high level. There's some backs that have a lot of yards because they're more relied upon than each one of your guys. How beneficial is that to have a rotation like you have? Huge.
The longer the season goes, having guys ready to go and having guys comfortable with what we're doing. And, we ran a lot of 20 last week. I mean, the chances we lost, now they're both fine. We lost 2 tight ends in 2 plays in the third quarter, which took out a whole section of our game plan. So we started getting in 20 personnel, and those guys did a phenomenal job. We had a little bit of 20 in the game plan. I didn't think we were going to run 18 plays of it. We thought we'd run about 4 or 5. We ended up running, I think it might have been more than 18. It might have been more like 22 plays of 20 personnel. So it was fun to watch those guys be in there. They did some huge things on third down. I mean, we run this chip protection, which to slow up DNs. And, there was one play that both of them got unbelievable chips. Unbelievable. Which slows up DNs, And so the thing about our 3 running backs, I think that's special, is they all do everything. Normally I've had multiple before, and he's the third down back, he's the big back. They all can catch, they all pass pro. Sean can pass pro just as good as Ladarius. I know Ladarius is bigger. Ladarius might have the best hands of all of them. He's the biggest one. So it's the fact that they all 3 can do everything gives us a lot of options when it comes to personnels and those injuries. Yes, it changed us a little bit, but it did not slow us down because of those 3.
Sky only got a couple of passes last week. Was that just because they were paying attention to him?
Well, honest to God, they were sitting their safeties back. They were letting us run for 10 yards a pop, and so they brought him down a little bit, and we hit him on a couple balls. We got to do a better job of continuing to get the ball to him, but they were not interested in putting people down in the box. They were going to let us have 6-on-6, and if we could block them all, we'd be to the safeties that were back there at 12, and that's their choice. So once the boundary safety started getting involved, he had a couple catches, late, which was good. And but they clouded him most of the game. They wanted to have 2 over there, which gave Corey some good opportunities. They gave Jalen a couple good opportunities. So, but yeah, it was You can't stop everything. And so he's demanding attention now, which really just started a couple weeks ago, and so we got to move him around, and we got to get the ball in his hands. So we got to do a good job of doing it. It does help other things when we put him where he normally is, but we got to do a good job of getting him the ball because he's a great player.
I've been around this Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan matchup for 38 years. You've been around it for half of that anyway.
Yeah.
What is it about this matchup between Western Michigan and Eastern Michigan that it always comes
When
down
I
to
played,
the last
it was
play?
a shootout. It was a shootout. It was Walt, Church, and Charlie Batch. And it was both teams were going to have 600 yards of offense, and it was going to be a 52-51 game every single time we played them when I was a player. And it was a unbelievable shootout, and it's different now, but it still comes down to last play. We went up there and we scored with I think it was like 2 minutes left to take the lead last time we were there, and they rolled down, and just like we did this week, they rolled down and scored and left us like 20 seconds to try to answer the bell. And we weren't able to answer the bell. So then we had an overtime game against them. Like every game, they play good complementary football, and they are good at being in every game. They've been that way for a long time. They're always going to be in it. And Coach Creighton does an unbelievable job of running the program and getting guys that fit what they want to do, and their attention to detail is phenomenal. And no one ever blows out Eastern. They're going to hang in there, and they're going to make it a game. We're going to get into the fourth quarter, and you're going to see who wins. And that's been happening a lot. I think it's a very level year of college football. I look at Northern. They've had 8 games decided by one possession. They've won 6 of them. I think 5 of them were on the last second field goal, and so it's going to be. I kind of expect it to be very similar, where we're in a tight ball game. We got to play great to be in a tight ball game, and then we got to be really good in the last minute or two, like we had to do last week.
The other thing about Eastern is they don't take penalties. They're the least penalized team in the league, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they're really disciplined, and I think they do a good job. Ben does a good job getting the ball out. Didn't hold on to it too much. Like last week, that guy runs around a little bit, so hard on the O-line. When you're going to block and have your quarterback run all over the place, you can get some holding calls. But they're efficient. They have a plan, balls out, disciplined football team. And so we're going to have to be smart. We got to stop the pre-snap penalties. We've talked about that a lot this week, made some adjustments that I think will help us. And we got to be better against, I think, a really good football team.
A question here from Patrick from MLive. He wanted to know specifically about the pre-snap penalties you were talking about, averaging 2.3 per season, and just what specifically in practice you guys are doing to try and limit those things.
Yeah, well, all I'm going to say is we made an adjustment. So we've looked at what we're doing and tried to find a way to make it easier for our O-line. We've had way too many. It's got to the point where we've had to make an adjustment to maybe make it a little bit easier on those guys, and we have, and they like it, and it's going to be better, and so it's, I don't want to say exactly what we're going to do, but it's going to be better. Let's put it that way. There's been a cause and effect and a reaction to it, and now we're going to move forward.